I'm Desiree Marshall, the recruiting Ronin, and this week, let's talk about the art of the pivot. In the time of the coronavirus crisis, for many of us, furloughs and layoffs, a looming recession, and the state of the current crisis have gotten us thinking even more so than before about making changes to our current careers. As a recruiter who has heard hundreds of stories of how candidates have found their way into the jobs that they held throughout their careers, and as a career coach whose greatest passion is helping people make successful transitions into new careers, I'm here to share with you the steps that you need to take in order to make that exact same transition yourself. I call it the art of the pivot. For starters, when I talk about the pivot in career terms, I'm talking about making an intentional shift in a new direction. While there are those who stumble into the jobs that they have or have had, um, having a strategic plan in place that you can execute is the best way to move forward. Step one, the first thing that you have to do is ask yourself, why do you want and need to pivot? Notice I said want and need. While I know that certain circumstances beyond our control can force us to reconsider our career path, thus the need part, I also know that if your heart is not in it, you're going to have a problem with mindset if you're doing something that you want to do either. So you also need to want to be going in the direction that you intend to go. When I conduct job interviews, one of the very first questions that I ask candidates is, what's your reason for looking? Look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself the exact same question. It could be that you want and need to make a pivot because you're hitting a plateau in life or in work. And no matter how you convince yourself that the pay, the seniority, and the success that you're enjoying is worth it, you can't really truly say that you feel content or fulfilled. Or it could be that you're feeling and seeing that your current job is not sustainable. How you know whether it's time to make a pivot is best summed up in what I like to call the Sunday stomach ache. You know that feeling. You wake up on Sunday morning with that feeling of dread in the pit of your stomach, knowing that you're going to have to go to work the next day, and it gets stronger and stronger. And as the day goes by, it's always there in the back of your head. And then when you're at work, you're like, whatever. You can't wait for the day to end. You can't wait for the work week to end. So now that you know why you want to pivot, the next question is, how do I pivot? Again, like I said, you have to be intentional and strategic. You have to have a plan in place in order to do it the right way. Your first step in how to make a pivot starts out with a self-assessment. While you could do this on your own, I strongly recommend that you reach out to a career coach or recruiter who can help guide you through the process. What would make you happier and more fulfilled? What are your strengths and skills? Given that the strengths and skills that you have honed over the course of your career and overall life experience is always transferable. After that, take a look at your career options. Do you want to stay in the same industry but move into a different role? Or do you want to switch to a whole new industry and a whole new role altogether? Once you have the answers to that, identify your skills gaps and weak spots. What do I need to work on? What do I need in order to take the next step? And the next step is to put together a plan of action. Make a list of things that you'd like to and need to learn. A list of things that you need to do. Learn a skill that's required in this new career or role. Do research on the industry. Speak to industry leaders. Read trade publications. Join LinkedIn groups. Network and connect with key leaders within that industry. Go to meetups or conferences. Update your resume, LinkedIn, business cards. And then also tell people within your network that you're looking. Once you have your list of things to do, prioritize and break them all down into an executable plan, week by week, month by month. Set a goal for yourself that includes key performance indicators and benchmarks. Use the acronym SMART when you're creating these goals. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. So, after you're done with your self-assessment, determine which career direction you want to take, have a plan of action that you can implement, the final step is to just do it. I've always loved the Indiana Jones franchise, and I always go back to the scene in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade where Indiana has to cross the chasm. As his father told him, you must believe. It will be scary, yes, but you have a plan, and that plan is that bridge that will get you to where you want and need to be. If you have any additional questions about how to pivot, or if you have questions or topics about career success that you'd like me to delve further into, please reach out. Till next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay strong. Carpe diem.